want to welcome you to the Ask Jeff YouTube channel. Here's today's question. What's your best parenting advice for raising kids who know and love the Lord? Now, allow me to preface my answer with this, that the raising of the children in our home, it has not come to a completion. As of the recording of this video, we have a 19-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 15-year-old. And yes, they've all been raised in a home of faith. They've all been raised in churches of faith. They've all been encouraged in their faith. Yet at the same time, there's moments they're walking with the Lord. There's moments they're rebellious to the Lord. There's moments where we ask ourselves as parents, what happened there? There's times things go sideways, and then there's times that they absolutely amaze us with their faith and trust in the Lord. So what's my best advice? Well, here's how I approach it from a very simplistic perspective. Saturate them with as much of the things of God as you can, as early as you can. What I mean by that is every one of our boys. Now, again, I don't know who asked the question. I don't know who's listening. Again, you may be a new believer and you've got teenagers in your home, but just work with me for a minute. From the moment that they were conceived, we were praying over them in the womb. We were quoting scripture to them in the womb. We were singing over them in the womb. When they came out of the womb, when they were just little babies, we were always rocking them, singing them, telling them Bible stories. They were in church. In fact, I won't tell you which one, but one of my sons, every time I started preaching, he would have a bowel movement in the very first paragraph. It just became a family joke. Tracy would have to take him out. Now, why'd I tell you all that? Because I believe the most important days are the first days. My wife and I look at each other all the time now that we have teenagers. They're making decisions on their own. One of them is a legal adult. Sometimes they make wonderfully God-based decisions. Sometimes they don't. We have to remind ourselves, we've laid the foundation. Now they're having to build the house in their own faith. Now, if you're listening to this saying, well, I came to faith late in life, or I've had a rebellious streak and I didn't have those early days. Well, you know when the best day to start is? This day. And so can I encourage you, wherever your children are in the stage of life, maybe they're teenagers, maybe they're in the womb, maybe somewhere in between, start with gospel conversations, scripture, songs, going to church. I tease about this, but I mean, I think every kid ought to have a drug problem. You ought to drag them to church. So all that being said, our job's not done yet as parents, but one thing I do know is this: we've laid a foundation. It is upon them in their own faith to build the house upon that foundation. Some of you may be starting that foundation a little bit later in life. Don't be discouraged. The Lord can make up for lost time. Great question. If you have one, send it to askjeff.net. Maybe your question will be tomorrow's. Thanks for being a part of today's daily question. Now, we answer a question each and every day. Please feel free to submit a new question at askjeff.net. We may not have gotten to yours today, but we eventually will continue to be a part of this. Subscribe so you don't miss out on a question every day.